and welcome back to another episode here on The Richter Show. So today we're actually going to be talking about this rental car company called Green Motion. Now before I start, obviously it's not sponsored. I'm just doing a product review on it, and this actually has to do a lot with traveling because a lot of us go to different cities and different states, to different countries, and sometimes it's easier just to rent a car. So I'm gonna give you my experience based on the one rental company of Green Motion here in Miami, Florida. And now before I get started on that, I wanna thank the content creator that actually lent me their studio so I can actually film another episode of The Richter Show here. I'll leave a link of her name down there if you want to check her channel as well. So I'm going to start with the process that I went online and I did a normal, regular look of the vehicle that I wanted. I selected it. The process was simple. The process was easy. I actually did it through booking.com, not sponsored, but I used booking.com to rent the car. I always like to go to the cheapest thing possible. In this case scenario, I wanted a specific car that it was in the cheapest lowest category. And I chose one from Green Motion. Now, the process of selecting a car and checking it was no problem, was easy. I had no problem with that. But for me, the issue started when I went to go pick up the car. As one of my tips and tricks, when you go rent a car, they're gonna try to sell you an outrageous insurance, all right? It happens, it's part of their job, it's how they make more money. If you have already an existing insurance with your vehicle, most likely that insurance actually extends to car rentals, so you don't have to pay anything extra. So check to see if whether, for example, in the US, there's like Allstate, Geico, Progressive. Those policies have an extension to rent for car rentals. So you don't have to be buying extra insurance and wasting more money. Don't fall for it, all right? In my opinion, it's a scam, all right? But past that, make sure you also bring it, because with Green Motion, I encountered the problem that in comparison to other rental cars, I just say that I have insurance and that I don't need it, and I decline their insurance and I'm okay with it. But with them, at least here in Miami, all right, because I'm gonna talk about the one here in Miami, they forced me to actually download it and email it to them though, because being realistic, when I travel to another state, I don't bring my car insurance card with me. I simply don't, all right? But I guess that's another way to make customers a little bit more uneasy and having to go the extra step to getting it. And if you can't find it, you can't prove it, then hey, they got you hooked, all right? And now you have to pay for their insurance. Anyway, so I give that insurance, no problem, because I already know how these things work. And then here's the part where it's hard for me, because I live in a state that they don't charge you for using the highways, the expressway. In a lot of states in the United States of America, you don't have to pay extra for using the highways. But in places like South Florida, they have tolls, a lot of highway tolls. And these tolls are, I wouldn't say expensive, because there's some that I saw that were like, I think it was like 68 cents, or if you have like the Sun Pass, which is the way that they charge you, it's like $1.50. That's fine. Fine in the sense that, okay, it's cheap. You know, you get on the highway, you pay your $1 or $1.25, and you get on your way. The problem with Green Motion is that they were charging me a flat fee of $19 per day for the car rental to use the expressways. And this is where it gets tricky for me, because number one, I'm not used to paying to drive, pretty much. I'm paying just to use a road, which I find that ridiculous. Especially when I've driven in so many other states like North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, Kentucky, you don't pay for tolls, all right? You already pay that through your taxes. But anyway, it works different in South Florida. I know that in, I think, New York they charge, California, I think they charge you as well, if I'm not mistaken. But the problem with the $19 that you had to pay is that it was $19 every day. So if you rent a car for, let's say, 5 days, all right, you're gonna have to pay $100 just in tolls for using their vehicle and their Sun Pass, which the Sun Pass is how they charge the rental company the tolls. But if you do the math, and let's say I go in one way and I use the toll once and I pay $1.50, right? And I get off and I don't use it anymore, I paid an additional $17.50 for no reason. That's outrageous. The math doesn't really add up. And they try to sell you this whole thing and say, oh, you can go here, you can go there, you can get on the expressway, you can get on the highway, no problem. You pay for the whole day, you can get it on and off as much as you want. I mean, what are you selling me, like a Disney ride? I don't have to do the line? No, you're still gonna be stuck in traffic. So that's one big complaint that I had with them. I thought it was really overpriced. I didn't see any other way around it, because here's the other tricky part about it. You might be thinking, well, just don't get their service to use it, just paying cash. The problem is that here in the state of Florida, you can't pay the toll with cash, because I would have chosen that option better and I would have just paid, as I use it, as I go, but they don't have it. So the problem is that if you take the toll and you don't have the Sun Pass and you don't have it paid, you actually get ticketed, at least if you don't have it here, because they get it to your plate. Or in my case, through the rental company, they would have charged, from what I got told, every time I get on it and use it, it would be $20 plus the whatever toll fee it was. So obviously I would be paying a ridiculous amount just in toll fees, plus like the penalty for not getting the $19 daily subscription. It didn't really make sense to me, at least. And the other problem is that I thought, okay, well, maybe I can avoid tolls, but when you come to Miami, and the people that live in Miami, they all know you have to take the expressway. There is no way you're gonna get around the city without taking the expressway. It's just part of driving here in Miami. And it's another way that the government, makes money out of you for mediocre things. The other issue was that I was thinking, okay, maybe I'll get the $19 a day rate. And I was thinking, okay, by logic, if I don't use it, they shouldn't charge me. Incorrect. Whether you use it or not, they're still gonna charge you $19 per day for the amount of days that you have the car rental. So it really sucks that, you rent a car for 5 days and you basically paying almost $100 just on a service to use the toll, to use the highway and the expressway tolls. It's just mathematically dumb and silly. So at least that's the way that they work. Green Motion works like that, and that's their charge. I was very disappointed with them, but then again, when you get from an airport and you go in to rent your car, these are some of the things that are hidden that you don't know of, and you have to pretty much pay. And then because you have only two options, either you pay and you rent the car, or you don't pay. And I wasn't gonna risk not paying the $19 because I knew I was gonna use the expressways and the highways, and they were gonna charge me even more. So I got ripped off on that. Another thing I didn't know about Green Motion is that you can't take the car out of state. I don't know exactly what the penalty is, but their policy is that I have to stay within Florida. So if you're thinking of saying, hey, I'm gonna rent from Green Motion and I'm gonna take it out of the state, at least the way that they told me, and then the way that I had to sign the contract, I was forbidden to go to any neighboring state with the car. It's a real bummer though. But I think that maybe one of the reasons why this happens is because the cars are very cheap, at least for the prices that I saw. But I'll tell you this much, I will not be renting from them again. Another reason too is that when I got the car and I rented the car, I have rented over 100 cars before. I mean, so I have experience renting cars. I know they're used by a lot of people, a lot of customers use them, so I don't expect them to be in extreme prestige condition. And this has to be probably the worst vehicle that I have rented out. It had so many dings and dangs, scratches and hits on it. It looks like somebody even like grabbed a hammer and hit it in some areas. The windows wouldn't go up all the way. They would kind of get stuck, and I manually had to like pull them up as I pressed a little lever to pull the window up. The condition inside was so used. It looked like a vehicle that had maybe at least over 5 years of usage. And it was supposed to be a newer car. So it looks like the vehicles are old. They probably buy them used. They don't buy them brand new from the factory. They probably just buy them used to save money. And of course, the check engine light was on. They changed the oil. Notification was showing up the whole time. It's uncomfortable. That's what it is, though. I mean, can you live without it? Yeah. I mean, you can just press the little OK button on it, and it'll pop away from the screen. But you want to rent something, you don't have to be worrying about the oil, the tire pressure. The check engine light is on. The windows don't go up all the way. Now if it rains, water's gonna get inside. It was a terrible car, really. And I tried to change it. I told the guy, hey, look, man, these things are not working. The window was really important for me because I knew it was gonna rain. He's like, oh no, don't worry, just pull it up with your hand. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not supposed to be doing that. I'm renting something that should be working 100%. And the car was just really poor condition though. It wasn't very well maintained. I mean, I understand scratches on it, that's fine, but when there's hits on it, I wonder if it was like maybe in a bigger accident or something. I did pop the hood for shits and giggles. It was in terrible condition. I mean, it looked really bad. It looked rusty. It almost looked like, well, I am by the beach, so I guess it does explain a little bit of the corrosion on it. But it was just an overall bad experience, though. A friend of mine actually suggested me that I should start my own scale because I know that I used to give ratings from like 1 star to 5 stars. So I'm not gonna say his last name, but his first name is David. Thank you, David, for this suggestion, though. And we're gonna start something called the Richter scale. Obviously, I am the Richter, and there is the Richter scale. And if you don't know what the Richter scale is a way to measure the actual movements of earthquakes. So this way, we're actually going to use the Richter scale to rate things. So we're going to have from a 1 to 5 on the Richter scale, 1 being extremely low rating, and a 5 rating would be extremely high rating, which would be a good thing. So with Green Motion, I am going to give them, on the Richter scale, a 2 out of 5 on the Richter scale. That's right. The only reason why I'm actually even giving a 2 out of 1 is because the price is very affordable. It's very, very cheap. Anyway, thank you so much for watching here, another episode on The Richter Show. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more content reviews like these. See you on the next vehicle review here on The Richter Show.
Shout out to the host, the Richter. This the Richter Show, the Richter Show.